Greetings YouTube. Wanted to stop in and make a quick video here this evening about the conversation that's been going on with quite a few people recently about gun control, powers of the state and the police. I'll keep this brief. Probably the best argument I've heard put forward, and I've had it brought forward by both regular citizens, just regular folk, and a few law enforcement associates. And hey, we subcontract out. That's the most common. We subcontract out our security to the police. We give the police the authority to handle police powers, and it's hard to refute that. I mean, obviously, in society we do that to a certain degree. And so what I want to do is I want to speak to the people that have that view. In my small county here, we've got about 10,000 households in my whole county. Geographically, it takes me about an hour to drive from one side of the county to the other, from any one corner to another corner. That's no traffic, no problem. At any given time, we have 2 deputies and 1 or 2 city cops, town cops. We don't really have cities, but so we have 4 law enforcement, and we may be fortunate enough to have a highway patrolman. So that gives us 5 as a minimum, and we may have as many as 8 or 9 in the county at any given time. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to round that number off to 10. So in your city it'd be different. You can call and ask your local municipality or your county how many law enforcement are on duty at any given time. Shift rotations. They'll tell you. It's freedom information, sort of information, because you're paying for them. They work for you. So for the purpose of this example, we're talking about 10 for 10,000 households. And just in case anybody is a public school graduate without any extra drive, that's 1 officer at best for every 1,000 homes with an hour drive. Okay, so now let's examine that, and let's say, for example, now everybody has a swimming pool. Let's say every one of your neighbors, everyone in your whole city, your county, has a swimming pool, and it just doesn't make sense for everyone to hire a lifeguard. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make it so you can't be a lifeguard for your own pool. You have to contract out with everyone else to have a lifeguard, because you can't be trained to be a lifeguard, you can't be expected to be a lifeguard. So there's 10,000 pools, and there's 1 lifeguard for every 1,000. And so when your child starts drowning, or your wife starts drowning, or you start drowning, whatever the case may be, you do not intervene. You are not equipped to intervene. You are not trained to intervene. You are in fact encouraged, expected, and punished if you do intervene. You're encouraged to not intervene. You have to wait for that phone call away lifeguard that's at someone else's pool right now to come over and do the immediate life-saving work that needs to be done. Do you realize how ludicrous that? I mean, just think about that. If pools operated on the same premise as this belief that police are going to protect you, in the greater sense of things, a police officer doing their job will protect you, because a police department will catch a bad guy and put that bad guy away. Okay, but the problem is there's more than 1 bad guy. There's more than 7, more than 10, more than 40. They're constantly being created. You can't preemptively do away with the bad guy. And so, yes, we can give the authority to the police to act on our best interest and our behalf, but you're responsible for your own well-being. So when this window right here, when this window gets busted in, and that guy's coming in the window tonight, right now, yeah, I can grab this phone and I can dial 911, but it's going to take some time. The average police response time, give or take, is about 6.5 to 7 minutes in the United States. In my community, in my township, unincorporated township, the average response time for police calls is about 28 minutes. Do you know how much rape, murder, death, and mayhem can go on in 28 minutes? A lot. And so, it's just ludicrous to me that, oh well, we're not expected, that's the police job. No, that's not the police's job. The police are a backup option for you. You are your own responsibility first. Furthermore, and we discussed the point here that we subcontract out our own responsibility to keep ourselves safe and our families safe. The Constitution gives us the right to keep and bear arms, so that we can maintain a militia as citizens, independent of federal government oversight, so that we can remain free from oppressive government. Which means we have to be able to protect ourselves from the government. Now, your local police departments, your local sheriff's departments, they are controlled locally. Your local state police are controlled by your state. Well, guess what? All of these agencies are beholden to the federal government, because the federal government has given money and got these people addicted, got the agencies in your town, your police cars, your body armor your officers wear, their training, their guns, all of that. They've got them addicted to the federal money. So yes, in theory, they're independent agencies that can do whatever they want, but in fact, they're not that at all, because they're beholden to the dollar, to the federal government. And so the word tells us clearly that the borrower is a lender, is a slave to the lender. And so as long as the federal government controls the money, they control the local police. And so of course, now I'm not advocating that our federal government's currently coming out and trying to enslave us through force of arms. No, we're already enslaved to society, most of us, through double mortgage payments, 2-car payments, student loans, credit cards, wanting to go to the beach, this, that, and the other, and all these other things. And so our prisons are very comfortable. We have very nice beach house you can go to, blah blah blah, all these other comfortable accommodations. But that's really neither here nor there. But just keep in mind that when you think, oh, well, it's the police's job to protect you, you have the pool, and you're subcontracting out a lifeguard. You're sharing that lifeguard with thousands of others. In my community, our numbers are pretty good actually. But if you look at some place, in the city you're in, you may have hundreds of thousands of people living in your county, hundreds of thousands, and you may have just a few hundred police officers at best on duty at any given time. And so when you start bearing those numbers out, you're going to be woefully disappointed when you need the police right now. And let's just assume you can dial 911. They're not going to magically appear, in a genie bottle to save you. They're not going to take bullets out of you that were put in you in your home or in your yard or in your car because you were carjacked, whatever the case is. They're not going to unrape your wives or your children. They're not going to do that. They're going to take a report and they're going to try to catch the individual responsible to stop them from doing it again. So I encourage you to, you can give out authority all you want. Authority, you can give out authority. Your authority, you can give it away. As a parent, I can give my authority to my older child and say, okay, you're in charge of the house. We do. You're in charge, we'll be back. Watch your brothers and sisters, we'll be back in a little bit. What you can't do is I can't give my responsibility away. And so authority is transferable, responsibility is not. You are responsible for your safety. You are responsible for the safety of those in your care, wives, children, etc. You are responsible. You can give the authority to the police, you can give the authority to a offshore company in China that has a 48-minute hold time when you call it. It doesn't matter who you give the authority to, you're responsible, and you will be the one paying the price when you put your trust in something that's not immediate and within your own sphere of control. Be encouraged.